What is going on, good people? Welcome into the Delmarva Sports Insider, the only live and local show dedicated to giving you all local sports all the time. I'm Sports Director Trayvon Miles.
Hey everybody, I'm Brandon Bosser. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We've got a jam-packed show tonight, right Trey?
Exactly right. Welcome on into the greatest show in America. Tonight, not gonna lie, we are packed, top to bottom. We are jam-packed in this show.
Right, there is no off-season in shore sports anymore. The Summer Basketball League continues chugging along. And Trey, I'm curious, without some big stars returning, how good will that Y-High team be this year?
Yeah, we'll begin this evening with what we saw this week. As the playoffs inch closer and closer in the Maryland Supreme Summer League, the games are getting tighter. Two teams with a lot of talent squaring off, and this one came down to the final possession. Live 97.5 taking on Laurel. The guys in black jumping out in front early. B.J. Cook, Y-High, with a step-back jumper there for two. Then Jace Freeman kicking out to Jaden Handy, and he's going to nail a three from the wing. He's going to knock that down. 9-point lead for 97-5, but back come the Bulldogs. Tyron Kane, we saw him come on late for Laurel through the defense, kissing it off the glass, ties it with under three. Malik Leatherberry getting it under the basket and getting the layup to go. Live up three with 5 seconds to play. Laurel one last chance to force OT. Javi White, only three of the game. It is good, and we head to overtime. How about that? In the overtime, Jalen DeShields, a tough jumper here to fall, gets it to fall, and they take the lead. Live 97.5 does. They hold on for the 39-36 win over Laurel.
To a Delaware-Virginia matchup, Tech taking on VA Supreme, and Tech jumping out to an early lead. There's Zymir Hopkins forcing the turnover, takes it coast to coast, but VA began to wake up. Kevin Cropper in transition. We have liftoff. The one-handed jam for Cropper. Then Josh Cropper in the corner. He's going to knock down that three. Game cut to just 3 late, but Tech pulled away in the end. Eric Reinacher with the English here. Gets the left-handed lay-in to fall. Then Reinacher kicking it out to Jadon Mifflin. Senior knocks down the triple as Tech holds on for the 50-43 win over VA Supreme.
Hey, Brandon, it's so refreshing to get to see these guys and some of these guys that we already know, like Javier White, getting some work in, while learning about some guys who may turn out to be stars in the future, like a Jalen DeShields per se. The one thing I want to say about the Live 97 team, predominantly made up of Y-High players. We know this, right? We know who they lost. We know who they lost. Probably the best player on the shore in Antoine Wilson. But a lot to see, and it's still good to see them out there winning. It reminds me just of how much a well-oiled machine Y-High basketball can be. So, of course, kudos to Doug King, Butch Waller, Aaron Levere, and, of course, my guy Wayne Warren on that.
And, of course, they're without Tywan Hardy and Jason Handy and a few other players as well. But they may lose some big-name players, Y-High might, but coaching will keep them in contention always. One player to really watch out for this season, I think, is B.J. Cook.
True.
He'll be one of the leaders of this new-look Y-High club when they get back on the courts later this year. I'm very interested to see how the Tribe looks this winter.
Yeah, exactly right. All right, speaking of Laurel and Tech and Laurel, Delaware, our next insider interview is a guy very familiar with that area. He graduated from Cape back in 2018 and is officially the newest baseball pro from Delmarva.
Yeah, Zach Geloff enjoyed 3 fantastic seasons at the University of Virginia, the latest which included a trip to the College World Series where he was one of the Cavs' best players.
True.
The 60th overall pick of the 2021 MLB draft is the subject of our latest insider interview.
Leading up to the draft, I was getting a lot of good love from different teams, and then so I knew a lot of teams had a good amount of teams had a lot of interest in me. Mostly it was going to be with their second pick, so the first day just being the first round, they were really focusing on that pick, and they would get to me the next day. And then I knew, as far as the athletics, I knew that they were a team that really loved me and that they didn't know if I was going to be there at pick 60, but if it looked like I was, then we needed to have a serious conversation, and that was, I think, just 2 days before. And then they said the same thing the night before, and then it started to end up like it was looking like I was going to get to them. Well, I mean, I was expecting to go in the 3rd round. I think that was going to be the worst case, scenario for me. But I knew they had interest. I didn't know, there's so many other really good players that you never know if someone drops down on their draft board or whatever, and they take them over me. So we really don't know, but I knew that they were a team that had a lot of interest in me. And I think as we were getting close to 60, they wanted to make sure that, their teams didn't take me. So they were pretty happy that I got to them.
With the draft and Major League Baseball's rules and stuff, there's an opportunity for you to return. Is that something that you weighed, something that you thought about, and have you made a decision on that?
Most likely I'll be going out there to Arizona, their spring training early next week to do the physical, and then, that goes well, sign the paperwork. But until then, you can't really commit to anything because you never know what could happen. But I would say most likely near 100%, I'll be doing that and not going back to Virginia. You know what? There's so many really good athletes, really good competitors down here in the Delmarva area that really just goes unnoticed at times. I feel like on the national stage that it's nice for, I feel like me and Jake to get the opportunity to kind of show, what we could do, and just know that there are plenty others that, have the athletic abilities down here to do what we did. And that just gives them, hopefully a better platform that people know more about this area.
Now, Brandon, Zach is easily one of the best players I saw in my time here. He, of course, was the 2018 Gatorade Player of the Year. Of course, he helped propel Cape to winning it all, and really just a great all-around ball player that year. He pitched, he played short, his bat and his base running were especially special. It's pretty insane to think about a kid from Lower Delaware being the 60th overall pick, but the A's say he's a five-tool player who can do it all. One of the reasons I think they fell in love with him in this draft.
Oh, absolutely. Now, the player that comes to mind when you think of Delaware athletes that went on to the major leagues is obviously Delino DeShields Sr., a Seaford grad who had over 450 stolen bases at the major league level. This is a great story for Delaware baseball. The last time a kid from the 302 was taken in the top 2 rounds was Jamie Jarman from IR back in 2012. The thing about baseball is that these players drafted will be in the minor league system for a few years before we actually see them in the major leagues. So Geloff has a long climb ahead before he gets to Oakland, but he's a power speed blend. He's got a great eye at the plate, works a lot of walks. He's the typical player that the A's like to grab. I think he's in a great system that does a good job developing prospects. So I think he's in a really good fit being in Oakland.
I agree.
All right, let's shift gears now to some football, as the Crab Bowl has been a local showcase for Maryland senior players. Without funding, the event would not be possible, and that's the purpose of the Crab Bowl Golf Classic held today at the Lighthouse Sound in Ocean City. Now, the Crab Bowl is now in its 14th year, and we're getting ready for yet another Crab Bowl right here in Salisbury.
Yeah, it's very exciting because it'll just be the second time the event is held on this side of the bridge. Of course, there was no Crab Bowl last year due to the pandemic, but there were dozens of entries into this golf tournament, including some former NFL players, all in the name of helping out the next generation.
So last year I actually attended the game for the first time in Salisbury. It's a great event. Young people out there trying to make it to the next level. It's a vessel to get them there. The key to the whole thing is education, man. Only reason I'm here because the athletic part is just a vessel to get these kids to the means of graduation. So if they don't graduate, they waste their time. So if Tony can help these guys get in school and help them take some of that finances off their family, that's half the battle.
It's great seeing some of these professional athletes come over to Ocean City and help out some of these high school kids looking for some looks, as they look to get to the next level of football. But one of the participants at today's golf outing will soon have a bust in Canton, Ohio.
Wow.
And that's Staff Sergeant Charles Eggleston, who lives in Upper Marlboro, and he served his nation for 16 years, serving multiple tours in Iraq, where he was injured in combat.
Yeah, he underwent 60 surgeries and spent 3 years recovering at the Walter Reed National Military Medical Center in Bethesda. For his service, he'll be inducted into the Ford Proud to Honor Hall of Heroes. How great is it to see this American hero out in Ocean City today supporting the Crab Bowl? We asked him about what kind of an honor it is to be enshrined into Canton.
It just seems like a dream still. I'm still trying to suck it in because when I was approached by the Hall of Fame itself about going in and being enshrined into the NFL Hall of Fame along with the guys I always looked up to in football. You know, I'm an avid NFL fan. You know, I just can't wait to see football season this year and get off on the green.
Amazing story right there. Congratulations to him. That's going to do it for our A block. We're taking a quick commercial break, but when we come back, what do Alabama's Nick Saban, Georgia's Kirby Smart, and Penn State's James Franklin all have in common? Well, all of them really want this Delmarva native to play football for them. One of college football's up-and-coming prospect is up next in DSI.
My name BJ Cook. I go to Wacomico High School. I play running back and linebacker, and you're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.